new update for LoBo has been released. Let's have a look at the most recent features of version 5.5. Most apparently, LoBo is now customer branded. The logo, a slogan, and the contact details of your courier business are displayed on the login and the homepage. Here you can see the exemplary branding to lobo.at. Besides, you find a password reset function on the login page. After you have provided your username and solved the captcha challenge, you will receive a link for resetting your password by email. While entering the new password, its strength is indicated by a colored bar. More hints on how to increase the password strength can be found via the info tooltip. Accordingly, all registered users can change their current password after login via this link on the homepage. Let's have a look on the changes to the online booking process for end customers. For demonstration, I create a new order as a customer. The user guidance was improved in several ways. First, all input fields are underlaid with explanatory placeholders. Furthermore, additional notes lead through the booking process. Also new, the Quick Add button allows to add the customer's own place, in my case GroupNet, as a stop by just one click. If I add another address, for example, Lissagasse 2, to the stop list, the animation when switching between stops emphasizes the option to input additional stop details. Let's move on to the next step in the order process. The input of the order time has been designed to be more intuitive by splitting it into two options, now and later. Essentially, that's not really a new functionality, but emphasizes the option of scaling an order at a later time. If there's no product available that meets the given requirements, an according notice is displayed, additionally referring to the telephone number. Moreover, only minor changes have been made to the booking process, mainly covering the look and feel of the user interface. For example, the order summary was cleaned up and now appears in a simpler and well-arranged layout. You will discover most of the changes just demonstrated from the customer's view, also in the dispatcher's view. For a demonstration, I'll log in as administrator and create a new order. I search for GroupNet, select the hit as customer, and add the entry as the first stop. Again, we can see the animation of the stop details as demonstrated just before. Also new, fixed times can be now edited on the fly directly from within the stop details box. Another new feature is the possibility to edit places from the stop list directly. Like this, I can edit the alias of the place from groupnet.at to GroupNet, and the changes are directly applied. Otherwise, I can also edit a plain address, for example, Överseegasse 28, name it Bundesgymnasium Översee, and like this, convert the plain address to a named place. The update now also provides access to the track and trace link, the order confirmation, and shipping document. Just open an existing order and access these links, for example, to copy and paste them to an email. The checkbox for priority moved back to the Order Details tab. For good reasons. From now on, you can set up each surcharge to automatically trigger the order's priority. I'll demonstrate the setup in just a moment. First, let's have a look under Salt. The Express surcharge has an active priority trigger. As soon as I check this surcharge, the priority option is also enabled automatically. Another change, the limit for the route optimization was raised to 80 stops. Although I cannot demonstrate this feature with the current order consisting of just 2 stops, please note that we also had to raise the processing duration for optimization. It's currently set to a maximum of 3 minutes to assure good optimization results. So please be patient when optimizing orders with lots of stops. And last but not least, under the Options tab, you can now associate an arbitrary number of links with the order. For example, these can be links to your customer relationship management system or other order-related documents available on the cloud storage or the internet. For demonstration, I add a link to the LoBo homepage. It's lobo.at. Optionally, you could also label the link with an alias. I choose HP. Please note that at the moment these links are neither accessible for customers nor for drivers. This functionality will be added with the next update. Let's come back to the setup of priority triggering surcharges. To set up the priority trigger, we change to the module Surcharges. If you open a surcharge, you can find the Trigger Priority option here. As you can see, this option can be disabled and enabled also for existing surcharges. Let's activate the option for another surcharge. For example, this one called Nacht. Back in the orders, you can see that from now on, this surcharge also triggers the priority option. This leads us directly to the changes in the order listings. Priority and locked orders are now highlighted more prominently by a different background color throughout the row. Furthermore, you can access information about the creator of the order via the order details. Orders created by a template or a standing task reference their parent template. That can be accessed via this link. The icon that was referencing the parent templates in the leftmost column until now was removed. This new icon provides you with quick access to the links you have assigned to the order. One of my favorite improvements is the dynamic loading of the carrier and product drop-down lists. First, you only need to click once to preload and open drop-down instead of clicking twice, like it was before. Furthermore, the layout is fixed to the column's width. Like this, the row does not shift to a multi-line layout anymore when choosing long options. By the way, oversized options are shortened to keep the layout compact and only become fully visible when opening the drop-down. Another change is the introduction of tooltips for carriers. For example, we can find them here in the offer dialog, also here in the today's orders. Another new feature is the ability to optionally specify a highlighting color for each product. As soon as you have defined a color for the product, the product is highlighted accordingly in the listings. By the way, the color highlighting is not only present in desktop but also in the mobile version. The representation of pickup and delivery for orders with fixed timing was essentially affected. Instead of just displaying the notice on schedule, the representation now relies on the time specification. Orders containing at least one stop with a fixed timing are identified by a leading exclamation mark. Let's have a look on the topic in more detail and start with the pickup time. The pickup time is only indicated if the first stop has a fixed timing. If there is no fixed time specified for the first stop, but for any other stop, then the order is still recognized as being scheduled, but the reference time is shown for pickup, distinguishable by an almost equal sign. The representation of delivery times is handled differently. The delivery time is always shown for the next stop that has a fixed timing but was not yet marked as visited or signed. As soon as the stop is marked as visited, I'm just doing this here in the background on my mobile. So as soon as the stop is marked as visited, the indicated delivery time jumps to the next stop with time specification. Consequently, it's essential to mark stops as visited or signed for the correct representation of delivery time. The representation of the transit times, respectively for orders without time specification, has not been changed. As before, pickup and delivery are indicated by time spans and identified by a leading dot. Next, I want to present the new statistic functions for CO2 savings and origin of orders. I switch to the statistic module CO2 savings, and well, actually there's nothing more to say than the calculated diagrams express on their own. In this example, the CO2 savings over the period of the last year. The module origin analyzes and illustrates how the orders were created, respectively where they stem from. We distinguish between manual input, templates, online orders by customers, standing orders, and orders created via the API. Besides these two new models, all the other statistic modules have been refactored and improved. Another very useful feature is the option to mark invoices as paid and export this and other booking information to an Excel file. Let's switch to the module Invoices for demonstration. Via these new input fields, I can enter the payment date for each invoice. If the term of payment is overdue, it is marked in red. And finally, to get an overview over all unpaid invoices, we can filter the listing accordingly. Also new, in the Invoice Archive you will find clearly arranged booking lists back together with all the invoices as PDF. I simply create a new archive, and when I open it, you can see the booking lists separated into the categories new, cancelled and paid since the last archive creation. Let's come to the relevant changes for the carriers. From now on, carriers can access their offered and dispatched orders not only in the mobile, but also via the desktop version. In the model Offered Orders, you can accept orders to carry them out, and in the module Dispatched Orders, you can mark them as finished. The following changes were introduced in the mobile version. From now, it is additionally indicated for offered orders how long an order is already waiting to be taken. The products are highlighted according to the call settings of the product as set up before. The representation of the order listings has also changed in the mobile version. To have a closer look on the changes, I'll accept these two orders and switch to the view Dispatched. As soon as you mark a stop as visited or take a signature for it, the stop will be grayed out in the listing. Is it the first stop that was processed, the pickup time will be additionally grayed out. For further illustration, I will also mark the second stop as visited and finally finish the order. As in the desktop version, the representation of orders with fixed timing was essentially improved. Instead of displaying just the word on schedule, the carriers will see the specified time. Again, fixed times are identified by an exclamation mark. The time specification is always shown for the next stop that has a fixed timing but was not yet marked as visited or signed. In this case, it's 6:30 for the first stop. As soon as we mark the first stop as visited, the presented time will switch to the next stop with the fixed timing, etc., etc. In our case, this is the second stop with the delivery until 7 p.m. That was the summary of the most important changes introduced with the release 5.5. For further information, please visit lobo.at.